It's Megan, your favorite indie author homegirl. I'm about to start planning out my author journey for 2026. But first, there are some things that I kind of need to go over to ensure that I avoid burnout. And I want to share those tips with you because they have been helping me this year in 2025. I had a lot on my agenda for 2025, but I've had these moments of ebb and flow where I have stopped and have been able to kind of reassess where I am. So that is how I was able to get my 7 tips that I have found very helpful and useful. And I think you will too. My main goal is to do more with less. I am notorious for over planning and thus overwhelming myself. I feel like over planning, or like you have to have every little detail, just is another form of procrastination. Because for me, it's like I won't start until I have all the parts, all the pieces, I know all the things, and that's not reality. It's a mental thing here. So I've had to kind of unlearn a lot of my bad habits that were simply just keeping me in a state of panic, anxiety, a lot of self-doubt, because I had way too much on my plate. And so then for me, I am a bit of a perfectionist. I have been, I'm working through being a people pleaser. That version of Megan is gone. But trying to work in the moment of undoing those habits, it's a lot. It's a lot to process. But I'm very proud of the work that I have done this year. I'm very proud of me. The first thing I'm going to do before I really start to dig deep into what I want to do for 2026 is reflect. Reflect on last year. What did I do? What did I accomplish? What goals did I set that I actually achieved? And I'm also going to start adding like an emotional value to the thing. How did I feel emotionally after completing said thing or during the process of said thing? Because I don't understand the logic of doing something that I don't want to do. That's not required. I don't like Spanish. Why would I force myself to learn Spanish? I said I want to learn a foreign language. Why did I pick Spanish if I don't like Spanish? Maybe I should have chosen something else. I don't know. Korean. You picking up what I'm putting down. In order for me to move ahead, I need to look back to figure out, did that work? Because if it didn't work, there's no need for me to revisit that. So that's number 1. Number 2, have less goals. I have very ambitious, lofty goals. But then, like I said, I will overwhelm myself and then shut down, and then I have achieved nothing. Emotionally, I was also overwhelmed. And then what happens when you're overwhelmed? You might shut down. You might resort to old habits that aren't necessarily working in your favor. And I don't want to do that. 3, be clear about those goals. Just because you have less goals doesn't mean that you can't break those goals down into smaller bite-sized pieces that kind of stretch throughout the year. My issues have always been I wanted to cram everything in like the first week of January. And I know that that's not a logical thing, but I usually always have like a great start. But then I get burnt out. There's too many things. I want to make videos. I want to write books. I want to do audio. It was too many things. And I wasn't necessarily clear on the goals. And so I want to work through that. I have on my wall, you guys can't see it, but on my wall, I have my first quarter goals. And I have to review to see which ones I actually completed. But I think there's like 13 or 14 things on there in the first quarter. I think I'm going to cut that in half. Tip number 4, try planning for the quarter versus for the entire year. If I look ahead too much, again, I end up putting way too much on my plate. The next 3 months is a lot more feasible. I can forward face that a lot more. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't have goals for the rest of the month. It's just that I'm hyper fixated on one fixed point, maybe, within those goals. And since I'm only setting quarter goals, I feel like I can get to the satisfaction faster which is also important to me. Now, in the past, kind of piggybacking on all the tips that I've given you thus far, I have multiple pen names. And so I would say I want to release a series here, a series there. I'm going to release this, novellas each month, this. I'm going to have audio on Ko-fi. I'm going to do, what did I do? Great goals, beautiful goals. But did I break things down to like a day-to-day type situation? I did not. And I very well should. Another one of the type of mental goals that I have for myself is to set smaller, like I said, set smaller goals. November is a perfect example with writing a novel in a month because people are just doing one for the most part. Like it's based on doing one book, 50,000 words across 30 days. I had 4 planned. I finished one book and it wasn't even the book that was planned. I started a romantasy that I was supposed to be working through first. And then I had a paranormal romance and I had a contemporary romance that, did I outline that? I know I outlined that and that. I don't think I outlined that. See, I'm doing it now. It's too much. First things first, though. Another thing that I failed to do in the past, now I did identify goals that I wanted to set, but I didn't maintain celebrating them. So while I did finish a book, it wasn't the planned book, so I didn't celebrate it as much as I should have. But that's a major accomplishment because I had been sitting on that book for so long unfinished, and I finished it. And I should celebrate that. So then I had to start thinking of ways to celebrate my wins in a way that, again, feels emotionally good. Things that I enjoy. Food. I reward myself with food a lot. I buy things. I bought this necklace. Shout out to Gloria, owner of, I think it's Cassava and Cane, Afro-Latina owned company. There's like those ladybug things, but they're not ladybugs and they're flying. It's one in here. Celebrate those wins. Celebrate. I had things on my list like take a trip, this particular meal that I wanted, buy this bag, buy this thing. But also with that, when you set goals like that, you also need to make sure that you have the financial backing if you have those type of goals. What are some other things that I wanted to do to like celebrate wins, right? Yarn. I've bought yarn. I wanted to get my nose pierced, which I'm still going to do. So my daughter gave me the money for that, so I am going to actually go do that. Maybe next week, actually. I don't know. I'm going to really think about things that I want that would really stroke that emotional string that will also keep me motivated. Take time to reflect on what you have achieved because so many people haven't. And at one point, you was one of those people where you weren't achieving whatever the thing is. Tip number 6 for avoiding author burnout in 2026. This kind of goes along with the last tip of celebrate every win. Dopamine reigns supreme. So for me, I need to evaluate and identify those things that feel like a dopamine rush to me. Information, going down rabbit holes, dopamine rush. Getting feedback, dopamine rush. But in order to get to those points, I have to have something to present, something that I can get feedback from. Finding those dopamine hits don't always have to be something financial. Sometimes it's just dancing. Sometimes it's a snack that I wanted that I said I would only eat after I finish reading this chapter or rewriting this chapter. And now I have it and it's delicious and it's yummy. That doesn't work though if the snack you get, you've been looking forward to it and you get that and you get it and it's disgusting. Because now you've ruined my day. And my last and final tip is give myself grace. I did have a lot of lofty goals for 2025. I achieved a lot. Not all of my goals were achieved, but that does not mean that I'm a failure. That does not mean that I beat myself up because of it. It simply means that I reevaluate and pivot if necessary. A lot of times we can kind of pigeonhole ourselves in these pits of despair and depression and overwhelm and upset because you're not giving yourself grace. I'm very understanding. I'm very understanding when information is communicated to me. I don't care about an order being late unless it was something that I ordered like express, right? But on average, I don't care about orders being late, being delayed, provided that I was communicated with and that was told to me. Hey, we've had some delays. Hey, we've had whatever. And so I need to take that same kind of approach to myself, giving myself grace. Um, it's not the end of the world. It's not that bad. There's some real dark, heavy, heartbreaking things in the world. Me not hitting my word count, it's not the end of it. Just keep trying. Maybe if I take a break, take a walk, I'll have better words when I come back that will flow a lot easier. And then I may double what I was intending to do in the first place. So ensure that you give yourself grace. Okay? I hope you have found these tips useful. Don't do too much. And that what you do it well. I know in the indie sphere, we have these changing trends and you feel like you have to do everything all at once. You don't. What you have to do is build a collective of readers who appreciate you, want to support you, and hear your voice, your stories told your way. And on that note, I also want to share with you that because I finished book 2 during the novel writing month, book 2 of the Kerrigan Sisters season of Winter will be coming out shortly. I'm still debating on if I would just do a release or if I would put it up for pre-order. I don't know. It still has some edits to go through for the last 4 chapters, but again, I will give myself what? Grace. Because I have not decided if I want to try to release that before the end of the year or do something fun, fresh, and really hit the ground running in January, but not be overwhelmed. Why? Because I planned for it. You picking up what I'm putting down? Yes, you are. So, if you have tips to help authors along in 2026, drop them down below. Share them with me so that I can share them with the masses. If you like this video, share it, do all the things, push the buttons, tell all your people. Okay? Help a girl out. I'm trying to reach the masses. I'm trying to ensure that these tips reach an audience that can really use them and launch their author careers in a way that's not overwhelming. I want that for you. In videos coming up, I have a novella challenge to share as well as setting my own goals for 2026. So until next time, happy writing. Have a good one.